Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Yo, we got to talk about these Phoenix Suns, yo. Damn. Damn, what a disappointment. I mean, hell of a game by Luka Doncic. Hell of a game. I mean, that's just fucking dominance. It was just flat out dominance. But damn, I expected more out of Devin Booker. Chris Paul, I get it. He's older. He's not going to have that giddy up. He was getting picked on, back down. But damn, we got to talk about what's next with these Phoenix Suns. If you like this video, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Let me just start off by saying, it is a beautiful thing for your franchise, your team to be in a space where you're an actual championship contender, where you're an actual contender, let alone to be a favorite to win the championship. This shit don't come often for most franchises. The last time the Phoenix Suns were a favorite or even expected to be in an NBA Finals was back during the Charles Barkley years, right? Or you can say maybe during the Steve Nash, Amar'e Stoudemire years, but even then, the San Antonio Spurs were steamrolling a lot of people. Tim Duncan, Defensive Player of the Year, the greatest power forward of all time. Amar'e Stoudemire was peaking, but, there was still a battle to be had. But that was like 10 years ago. That was like 10 years ago. You see, it's not every day. It's not every season. It's not every 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, 7, 8, 9 seasons that you can expect your team to be in this position. And so when they are, there's a lot of energy that goes into seizing the moment. And I think everybody thought that this team was doing just that, seizing the moment, making the most of a rare opportunity. Chris Paul not having gotten to the finals until he got to the Phoenix Suns. Long-awaited opportunity to get that ring. Disappointed last year, but they were hoping that this year could be the year where they put it all together and encapsulate what it would be a storybook finish to winning a championship. But damn it, the shit ain't easy. It's not easy. A lot of things went wrong, but I'll say this is the most defining thing that went wrong. Is that once again, the moment was too big for Devin Booker. And I'm going to put this on Devin Booker because it's a star versus star type moment. Game 7, setting the tone for your team. You know what the other defense is going to bring. You know what's out there on the court. You know the scheme. You know the matchups. You know your opponent. This is game 7. And this is the moment where you say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your scheme. It doesn't matter what you put out there against me. I am going to get mine. And Devin Booker couldn't. This is a defining moment for so far into his career. He couldn't do it. Whether it was looking at, I think it was game 5 or game 6, where he drove to the basket against PJ Tucker and then pulled up instead of going up for the shot, second guessed and thought about something else, ended up turning the ball over, right? Whether it was that type of moment that says, growing pains, he hasn't been here before. He didn't know what to do in this moment. Well, game 7, Western Conference semifinals, he didn't know how to maximize, make the most of, manage this moment. He came out guns blazing, but missed. He shot a whole lot. This reminds me of that, if you're a fan of Eddie Murphy back in the day, there's this movie called Harlem Nights. And in this movie on Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy is on the run. Arsenio Hall is chasing him with some bad men, with some bad guys. And Eddie Murphy jumps out his car, jumps through the window of a local shop to try to get some coverage because Arsenio Hall and the bad men are coming to shoot him up. And he comes and he gets behind the window, and Arsenio Hall and 3 other guys pop out. They got these big old machine guns and they're firing. And they shoot nonstop for like a solid minute. I mean, there's bullets flying everywhere. And they hit nothing. Nothing. And Eddie Murphy pops up. In this moment, this is why he's the hero of the movie. He's the star of the show. Because in Harlem Nights, he pops up. It takes 4 shots. Bop, 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 bop. Takes out all 4 guys. He's the hero. Luka Doncic comes out in the first 5 minutes of this game as Devin Booker is shooting misses, shooting blanks. Bop, 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 bop. And Luka Doncic comes out. Bop, 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 bop. He's the hero of the show. He's the hero of the movie. He's the star. Luka Doncic was bigger than Devin Booker. And I'm going to be honest, I think everything changed when Devin Booker and Chris Paul was hunting Luka Doncic. I think it was after game 2. And they were hunting him, and they were exploiting him, taking advantage of him. And you could see it was eating at Luka's face. I mean, it was just, there's nothing you could do about it. They was just coming for him. And then the post game happened. And they did this little smile and smirk at one another. Like, yeah, we got his ass. We got him. We got this boy. We got him. And I thought that was a mistake. Because voicing your Michael Jordan documentary, Last Dance, he took it personal. And you could tell he took it personal. Because what did the Dallas Mavericks do from that point forward? They hunted Chris Paul. They hunted him. They said, not only are we going to hound you when you have the ball on offense, we're going to hunt you and dog you out on defense. We are going to wear that ass out. They wore that ass out like a kid who ran into the house on a summer day and knocked over mama's plant, stepped on the furniture with muddy shoes, and forgot to do his chores. And mama just came and snatched that child and wore his ass out. Chris Paul got worn out. You gotta understand, y'all, he's 37. He's 37. And this brings me to the outlook of this offseason. This is what we have to talk about. Where do they go from here? Where do the Phoenix Suns go from here? You see, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to, jump to a lot of conclusions. They're going to look at their salary cap. They're over the cap, obviously, because they're trying to win a championship, right? And they got the impending free agents. They got Deandre Ayton. They got JaVale McGee, Frank Kaminsky, Abdel Nader, Elfrid Payton, Aaron Holiday is restricted, Bismack Biyombo, Ishmael Wainwright is restricted also. And here's the thing. Robert Sarver is going to get put to the test. Because it's one thing to invest in your team when they're ready, when they're there. It's another thing to keep investing when they fall short. You see, I think this is going to be the move. It's going to be the downshift. Not accelerate. Because I don't think a move out there is really there in front of them to really go into a higher gear than where they already are. I think they need a downshift. Just one gear. Maybe from 4th gear to 3rd gear. All right? Just downshift. And when I say that, I mean they need to double down on this roster. Double down on this team. They got some young guys that have got some talent. They've got Dario Saric coming back after his injury. But they also got Deandre Ayton. Now, Deandre Ayton, I'm going to be honest, he hasn't been quite a disappointment because I can commend any big man. I did a video before about how good I thought he was. I compared him to Karl Anthony Towns. I said he was better than Karl Anthony Towns. I said, come for me if you think different. Watch that video and let me know what you think. And definitely comment. I do respond. But I said I had to commend an offensive-minded big man to come into the NBA and say, you know what, I'm going to put my offense on the shelf and I'm going to focus on defense and becoming an elite defensive big man. And he has. He can guard on the perimeter. Even though Luka was able to hunt him, there's probably 1 or 2 players in the NBA who can literally hunt DeAndre Ayton in that way. And Luka just happened to be one of them. So you don't necessarily jump to conclusions there and be like, oh, you can't have this guy. He's an elite big. He's a top 4 or 5 big man in the NBA as a center. That's saying something. And he's young. My man is like, what, 23? He's 23 years old, right? He turns 24 in July. Shout out to the Cancers, right? This man is not even in his prime yet. And so the downshift is to reinvest. Yes, you're giving him the max. You're giving him the max. You're not hesitating. You're giving him the max. You know why? Because any other team is going to give him the max. And if you don't give him the max, whether he's from the Phoenix area or not, went to high school in the area or not, went to college in the area or not, if you don't give him the max and you wait for another team to give him an offer and just match that, or if you offer him less and he has to take it, and worst case scenario, if he has to double down on himself and take the qualifying offer, you know what's going to happen? He's gone. He's gone. And if that happens, Phoenix will not be a contender again for another 10 plus years. It's the same mistake that they made when they let go of Joe Johnson. And they had that roster with Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. Joe Johnson was that guy. He was the 6'8" guard forward who can defend and score against multiple positions. Could play some point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and even small ball power forward. Though that was more of an experimental thing at the time. You see, Deandre Ayton has the ability to hopefully take that offensive game back off the shelf. And this is where Monty Williams is going to have to shift also. And saying, you know what, we're going to have to feature you more. Chris Paul, he's on the downside and he's waning. But we're going to double down on you as an offensive player. We're going to ask you to put up 15 to 20 shots a game at least throughout next season and moving forward. We need you to become a 25 points per game offensive scorer, because that is what the future path looks like for the Phoenix Suns to get back to the finals. It's not going to be resting on the laurels and the talent of Chris Paul and Devin Booker. That tandem is done. Let's be clear. That's done. Yes, Chris Paul and Phoenix are going to be good. He's going to do his floor generalship, getting guys involved, tough, physical, leader, great basketball IQ, probably a future coach in this league. He's just a tough, hard-nosed guy. He knows the game like a Rajon Rondo. His mind can do things for you. But in the playoffs, to be able to play extensive minutes and carry a team on offense and defense, that's not him. Now, the next aspect of this doubling down, I think, is going to be to bring back most of their free agents. And when I say most, I mean most of the guys that actually mattered. Right? You still got guys like Landry Shamet under contract. You still got Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. The core of your team is under contract. Jay Crowder, like I said before, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne. These guys are locked up. Torrey Craig is actually locked up through next season, which is such a blessing in disguise. Cameron Johnson as well. Like I said before, Shamet. And you even got a guy like Ishmael Wainwright, who's under your restricted free agency control as a team. And this is where you're going to have to kind of pause from here. Yes, I would say bring back either a Frank Kaminsky or even a Bismack Biyombo. But you're not going to have JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo. Right? Frank Kaminsky, if he comes back, you're not bringing back Bismack or JaVale. Right? You're going to hedge a little bit. Right? I don't think you're going to necessarily try to go over the top to bring back Abdel Nader, even though he played extremely well for them. He's kind of a younger version of Torrey Craig, not as athletic, but definitely physical. Right? He can do some things. But I think Ishmael Wainwright also kind of fills some of that Torrey Craig type vibes as well. Right? And so there's some overlap here. Aaron Holiday is also restricted. I think he's somebody you definitely bring back, because I think he can be an heir apparent for Chris Paul. They have no draft picks in this coming draft, which means that the talent that they have around them, the young guys, is who they currently have. And they're not going to be able to necessarily go out and just pay in free agency and outbid another team to get another young talent. And so they're going to have to try to preserve as much of the young talent as they have because of their salary cap situation. So re-signing Aaron Holiday is going to be clutch. Elfrid Payton is probably going to be gone, right? And then once they preserve this core, they're going to have to shift in terms of their scheme. This is the outlook of this team. I don't think they're going to get back to the finals next year. But over the next 2 to 3 years, Chris Paul is going to be on that last leg of his contract and of his career. Aaron Holiday hopefully is emerging. And they're going to have a Deandre Ayton who's hopefully made that jump into being a superstar over the next few years. Oh, I'm sorry, not superstar, but probably an all-star for sure. And who knows if in 3 years he's looking at a superstar level. I think he can give you a Karl Anthony Towns offensive game. The 3-point game, yo, they should have been having him shoot threes. And I've been saying this for the past 2-3 years. He should be shooting that corner three. He's already hitting threes in college. Why are you not having him take the three? Especially when you guys were just building and you were tanking and trying to build up your young talent. But that's neither here nor there. At this point, the guy needs to start shooting threes, and you need to encourage it. In the next 2 to 3 seasons, Deandre Ayton needs to be shooting 3+ threes a game, 3 to 5 threes a game. He needs to get up to that Karl-Anthony Towns volume, because it's at that point that you're going to have 2 elite two-way all-stars to build a championship contender around. You'll still have Mikal Bridges. You'll still have Aaron Holiday. You will still have a core that can get you back to the promised land. But this is a downshift. I don't expect them to knock off to knock off the Clippers next. I think the Clippers are coming, right? I think they're going to have to deal with the Pelicans and Zion's return, right? Just like everyone else is. I think Chris Paul waning down and DeAndre's ascension, they're going to have to learn how to play off of that. And if Chris Paul is wise, he makes the shift with Monty, saying, I've got to set up DeAndre Ayton. I've got to instill confidence in him. I got to force feed him the ball against 99% of the competition. I've got to get his confidence through the roof so that when the playoffs come in the next 2 to 3 seasons, he's able to put up those huge numbers. Because don't forget, the Warriors still got James Wiseman in the wings. They still got Jonathan Kuminga. They're going to be right back year after year after year. The Pacific Division is going to be deeper than ever. And they need DeAndre Ayton to become a star. But this is just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree that that's the next step for this Phoenix Suns team, right? Doubling down and betting on DeAndre Ayton to ascend? Or do you think they need to trade him? Some people think that they need to trade him. Some people think he's just not worth it. But let me remind you, he's a 23-year-old, 7-foot center with the agility of a guard. Can run up and down the court with most forwards, jump over the rim, finish with both hands. Has a beautiful looking jump shot, right? Elite rebounder, elite defender, and can protect the rim. They don't grow on trees. Jalen Duren will never be DeAndre Ayton. Mark Williams will never be DeAndre Ayton. Chet Holmgren will never be DeAndre Ayton. These guys aren't just coming. But let me know what you think. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe and the bell for notifications if you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.